Good morning, students. So, in this session, I would like to explain about the two topics of inductive sensors. Those topics are variable reluctance type sensors and eddy current sensors. So, before going to discuss about these two topics, first we will see what is meant by inductive sensor and what are the basic principle of these inductive sensors or inductive transducers. So previously we have discussed about the resistive and capacitive transducer. And similarly, we are having other type of transducers called as inductive transducers. These are the transducers which converts any physical quantity into variable inductance. The transducer which converts any physical quantity such as displacement, force, pressure into some change in inductance are called as inductive transducers or variable inductance transducers. So these are also passive transducers which requires external power supply to convert any physical quantity into some electrical signal. Okay, these inductive transducers works based on the following three principles. Those are variation of self-inductance, variation of mutual inductance, and production of eddy current. Again, before going to discuss about these principles, what do you mean by self-inductance, mutual inductance, and production of eddy current? What is self-inductance? It is the property of a coil to induce an EMF due to current flowing through the same coil. So if some amount of voltage is induced in a coil due to current flowing through the same coil, so that property is called as self-inductance. Next, what is mutual inductance? It is the property of coil to induce an EMF due to the current flowing through other or neighboring coil. So as the current is flowing through the neighboring coil, if some EMF is induced in the coil, so that is nothing but mutual inductance. And what is eddy current? Simply, when a conducting plate is placed near a current carrying coil, or simply you can say that when a conducting plate is placed near coil carrying alternate current, so these eddy currents are produced. So because of these production of eddy currents also, we are going to sense some vibration, displacement, etc. So those we will see. So this is the basic principle of inductive transducers. Now we will see one by one. The first one, inductive transducers working on the principle of variation of self-inductance. So generally, the self-inductance of a coil is given by an equation L equal to N square by R, where L is the self-inductance of the coil, N is the number of turns of the coil, and R is the reluctance of the magnetic circuit. Simply reluctance is nothing but in analogy of electric circuit is simply resistance, maybe analogy. Okay, the reluctance of the magnetic circuit is given by R equal to L by mu A, where the small l, that is nothing but length of the magnetic path, mu is the permeability of the medium in around the coil, and A is the capital A is the cross sectional area of the magnetic path. So since if you substitute this value R equal to L by mu A in the equation L equal to N square by R, we are getting the equation as L equal to N square mu into A by L, where A and L are, that is depending upon the geometric factor of the coil, that is the cross sectional area as well as length of the magnetic path. So then I can say simply it is a constant, that is N square mu G. Therefore, the self-inductance of a coil is proportional to the number of turns and proportional to the permeability and geometric factor of the coil. So these inductive transducers are mainly used for measurement of displacement. So the displacement which is to be measured is applied or is arranged such that causes variation of any of these three variables. So you have to apply the displacement such that the displacement can make variation of any of these three parameters that are that can vary the, that means the variation of inductance may be caused by change in number of turns, change in geometric factor, or change in permeability of magnetic material or magnetic circuit. So thus, if the number of turns or geometric factor or magnetic material permeability changes, that changes the self-inductance L by some delta L, that is change in self-inductance. So first we will see the transducer or inductive transducer working on the principle of variation of self-inductance with number of turns n. So take this is a coil. We are applying some amount of current is flowing to this coil through these terminals, and I am going to take the output between this terminal and this terminal, and where I am going to apply some displacement to this one. But now what happens? For example, this number of turns are 10. As I am changing the output terminal by using this wiper, the number of turns may be changed to some 7, 9, 8, 7, 6 like that. As the number of turns changes, what happens? Inductance changes. Okay. That means the output voltage may be changed by change of number of turns. Okay. So this is air core coil where the core is, there is no core, that means we can say that it is air core coil. And here I am having another type of arrangement where it is a what you call as circular shape, which is having some iron as a core. So here also by changing the number of turns, we can change the inductance of the coil. So like that we are able to measure the displacement of a quantity by using these two transducers. This can be used for measurement of linear, whereas it can be used for measurement of angular displacement. As this output wiper changes, the number of turns of the coil changes, which in turn changes the inductance, as which that in turn changes the EMF produced in the coil. We'll see what is the EMF also. That is V equal to LdI by dt. So as the inductance changes, the EMF induced also changes. So if you are able to measure that EMF induced, so that is proportional to the number of turns, which is proportional to the displacement applied. So like that we can measure the displacement of the coil by using these inductive transducers, whose principle is based on variation of self-inductance with number of turns of the coil. So in this case, the output, if it is in the form of inductance, that is L, that is proportional to N square, which I have already given this equation. That is proportional to N square, which is depending upon the proportional to the displacement. Therefore, inductance is proportional to number of square of the number of turns, which is proportional to displacement. In case the windings are uniformly wounded, then that is proportional to displacement square. So like that, if you are able to measure this inductance, we can estimate what is the amount of displacement happened. So like that, the inductance can be measured. And there is another type of inductive transducers whose principle is due to change in reluctance. Just now we have discussed about the relation between the inductance and reluctance. That is, here we can say that L equal to N square by R. As reluctance increases, inductance decreases. Both are inversely proportional. So now we will see. So actually, as per our syllabus, the first topic is variable reluctance type transducers. So this type of transducer consists of a coil which is wound on a ferromagnetic core. The displacement which is to be measured is applied to a ferromagnetic target, as shown figure. So this is a consist of coil which is wound on a ferromagnetic core, and the displacement is applied to a ferromagnetic target. So here I am having some target which is also a ferromagnet or iron. So the displacement is, if we apply to the displacement to this one, what happens we'll see. Here the target, the iron target does not make any physical contact with the core on which coil is mounted. The core and target are separated by an air gap. Here if you observe this diagram, this core and target are separated by air gap. These two are not having any physical contact. So now we'll see. That means, once again listen. Say coil is wound on a ferromagnetic core, and a target which is also iron or ferromagnetic is placed near this core. Now we'll see by changing the displacement what happens. So the inductance of this coil depends upon the reluctance of the magnetic circuit provided by this target. So actually the self-inductance of the coil is given by number of turns N square divided by Ri plus 2Rg, where Ri is the reluctance in iron core, where Rg is the reluctance in air gap, or reluctance of air gap. Generally the reluctance of iron parts are very negligible as compared with the reluctance of reluctance of air parts. Therefore we can neglect this Ri. Therefore inductance is equal to N square by Rg. So actually the reluctance of air part of the magnetic circuit, that is this one, air gap, that is given by, actually you know that R equal to L by mu A. That's why it is given as Lg by mu g Ag, where Lg is the length of air gap, mu g is the permeability which is constant, Ag is the that air flux through the air gap, the flux through the air gap. So if you observe this one, the inductance is proportional to the 1 by length. Why? Because reluctance is proportional to length, where these two are constants. So the reluctance of the air part is proportional to length. So as inductance is inversely proportional to reluctance, so we can say that the inductance is inversely proportional to length of the air gap. That means the self-inductance of the coil is inversely proportional to the length of the air gap. That means when the target is near to the core, it moves towards the core. When the target is near to the core, the length of air gap becomes small, and so the self-inductance of the coil becomes very high. That becomes large. While the target is away from the core, the length becomes large and reluctance is large. Therefore, that results in small values of self-inductance. So simply we can conclude that the inductance of the coil is a function of distance of the target from the core, that is the length of the air gap. So the self-inductance can be changed by changing the displacement, which changes the length of the air gap. Therefore, the self-inductance is a function of displacement. And finally, we can say that the self-inductance of the coil is a non-linear function of displacement. Why? Because that is inversely proportional. That's why it is called as non-linear function. So like that, we can measure the displacement of any object which is applied to a target by using this variable reluctance type transducer. Now we'll go for the second topic as per our syllabus, that is eddy current sensors. That is inductive transducers working on the principle of production of eddy currents. So actually these inductive transducers work on the principle that if a conducting plate is placed near a coil, carrying a alternating current, so which carries some alternate current, eddy currents are produced in the conducting plate. That means when a conducting plate is placed near the coil which carries the alternate current, some eddy currents are produced in this conducting materials. So these eddy currents, so because of that eddy current flowing through the coil, flowing through this conducting material or conducting plate, so that conducting plate acts as a short circuited secondary of the transformer. So just like in a transformer we are having primary and secondary which are not having any physical contact. So here also these two are not having any physical contact. So when some eddy currents are flowing through this conducting plate, These are acting as a secondary of the for this one. This is a primary coil, this is a secondary coil. Okay. So the eddy currents flowing in this plate produce a magnetic field of their own on their own, which acts against the magnetic field produced by the coil. That results in the reduction of flux and thus inductance of the coil is reduced. So once again listen. Here a coil is a conducting plate is placed near the coil which carries some alternating current as some AC current is flowing through this one, and a conducting plate is placed near this one. Some eddy currents are flowing through this conducting plate. So they are acting as secondary, and this eddy currents flowing in the plate produce a magnetic field on their own. That means here also magnetic field is produced. So that I am showing like this. So that can oppose or that can reduce the flux, which in turn reduce the inductance of the coil. So as the plate is very nearer to this one, more amount of eddy currents are produced that can create the more reduction in the inductance of the coil. Thus the inductance of the coil alters with the variation of distance between the plates and coil. So actually the eddy currents produced in this one can create some magnetic field. This magnetic field opposes the flux produced in the coil, where that is flux equal to phi equal to L into I. So where L is the what you call as inductance of this coil, which is constant. So therefore the flux can be reduced because of the change in current I. So by reduce the current. So that means as the current is reduced means the impedance of the coil can be reduced. Okay. So like that the amount of EMF induced across the coil can be reduced. So how much amount of inductance is reduced, that is depending upon the reduction of flux, which is depending upon the EMF produced by this conducting plate, which is depending upon the eddy currents generated or produced in the conducting plate, which is depending upon the what you call as distance between the plate and coil. So like that the output voltage is proportional to the distance between the coil and conducting plate. So by using this principle we can measure the displacement. So you can, this is another procedure. So the coil which is having some coil which is surrounding on the probe, when it is energized with some alternate current and it is placed near the conducting plate, some eddy currents are produced. So that can induce some EMF on their own, which can oppose this flux, and that can reduce the inductance, or that can reduce the impedance of the coil, or which in turn reduce the magnetic field as well as EMF induced. So this all are same almost. Okay. So that is about the two principles, variation of reluctance and variation of eddy current. So in all these cases you are able to measure the change in inductance or change in EMF due to change in displacement or some other parameters. Generally then that means we are able to measure, for example the inductance is 2 henries, and because of this change in displacement the inductance is some 2.5 henries. We are able to measure the 2.5. The output device is able to measure the 2.5, that is L plus delta L, inductance plus change in inductance. But normally the change in inductance, that is 0.5 henries anukundam, the change in self inductance delta L is sufficient for detection for subsequent stages of instrument system. The next stages of instrument system, that may be amplifier and output device, this change in inductance delta L is sufficient. But however in the previous case we are able to measure that L plus delta L, but if you are able to measure, or if the next stages of instrumentation responds to only change in inductance delta L rather than L plus delta L, the sensitivity and accuracy will be much higher. The sensitivity of the transducer and accuracy will be improved if you are able to measure only small changes in inductance rather than total inductance L plus delta L. So this type of transducer can be designed to provide two outputs, one of which provides increase of self-inductance and other is a decrease in self-inductance. Therefore, next phase of instrument system measure the difference between these outputs, that is 2 delta L. So these type of transducers are called as differential output. Why? Because we are going to take the difference between the two outputs. So if you are having the only single output, what happens we'll see. For example, there is a go for this type of transducer. Assume that, for example, I am not getting the exact values. For example, I am telling the inductance of the coil is initially some 10 henries, and because of this displacement applied to the plate due to some eddy current flowing and everything, that is reduced to some 6 henries, 10 henries to 6 henries. So the output can measure the 6 henries, that is the 4 henries difference. So that 6 henries is depending upon the displacement of this eddy current. But while you are applying the displacement to this eddy current, at the same time surroundings there is some stray magnetic fields are there, or due to some changes in temperature also, this EMF or the inductance may be changed. Due to that, again some extra amount of inductance may be changed, that may be 0.5 henries. So instead of getting the 6 henries, I am getting the 5.5 henries. That means the change in self-inductance is not only depending upon the displacement of this plate, it is also depending upon the surrounding magnetic fields, or that is depending upon the temperature variations of the surrounding. So that we should not required. That is undesired parameters. So that can be reduced if you are going to take difference between the two outputs. For one it is increasing, for other one is decreasing. So that we will discuss actually in the LVDT. But here we will see the advantage of differential output are sensitivity and accuracy are increased. The output is less affected by external magnetic fields. If you are in the two coils, we are making this arrangement such that in one coil the inductance is increased, other coil inductance is decreased. So in addition to the displacement of the conducting plate is applied in the eddy current, there is also changes in magnetic fields or due to temperature changes, some amount of voltage changed. So the amount of voltage induced or amount of inductance change due to temperature are affected in both the coils same. Since we are taking the difference, in one case that is increased, another case decrease, that is having the same effect, that will be nullified. So that is the advantage of using differential output. Therefore, the output is less affected by external magnetic fields. The effective variation due to temperature changes are also reduced. The effect of change in supply voltage and frequency are also reduced. So these are some advantages of differential output. So finally we will see transducers working on the principle of change of mutual inductance. As already I told that mutual inductance is the property of a coil to induce an EMF due to the flow of current in other coil which is not physically contacted. Okay, now we will see. Inductive transducer working on the principle of variation of mutual inductance use multiple coils, whereas in the previous case we are using only one coil, but in this case we are having multiple coils we should use. So as we know that the mutual inductance between the two coils is defined as property of coil due to which it opposes the change of current in other coil or neighboring coil. So when the current in neighboring coil changes, the flux setups in the coil and some changing the flux, which is the EMF is induced in the coil, called mutual induced EMF. So when the current in the neighboring coil changes, the flux sets up in the coil because of this changing flux. Sorry, here comma is not there. Because of this changing flux, EMF is induced in the coil, which is called mutually induced EMF. And this phenomena is known as mutual inductance. So the mutual inductance between the two coils is given by M equal to K into square root of L1 L2, where L1 is the self-inductance of coil 1, L2 is the self-inductance of coil 2, K is the coefficient of coupling. That means if you are applying some displacement or anything, such as that can changing the any inductance L1 or L2 or K, that can indirectly changes the M. I will see. The mutual inductance between the coils can be varied by variation of self-inductances L1, L2 or coefficient of coupling. So this mutual inductance may be converted into a self-inductance by connecting the two coils in series. So thus such arrangement varies the inductance between L1 plus L2 minus 2M to L1 plus L2 plus 2M, where one of the coil being stationary while the other coil is movable. So now with this we have come to the basic principle of inductive sensors. So the most important topic in this inductive sensors is LVDT, linear variable differential transformer, whose principle of operation is based upon this Faraday's law of mutual inductance, or we can say that change of mutual inductance. So the principle of operation and construction and advantage and disadvantage of this type of that is called LVDT, that we will discuss in the next session.